Hello and welcome, y'all. It's Dimz, and welcome to another monthly progress report of my free-to-play experience of 2XKO. This is a year-long series that's me documenting my experience of being a free-to-play player of 2XKO. In this video, we'll be going over my month 8 experience. Check the top of the description if you want to see my spreadsheet of detailing my accumulation of credits and spendings. Enjoy. So, month 8 has come and gone. And just like how I mentioned before, I didn't really play too much. One, because of real life circumstances and things were happening. And two, because I don't actually have enough characters to make a team. Akali wasn't the fit, so I'm just being a solo fuse warrior. However, that does not mean the 2XKO news did not stop. There was a lot of different things that happened with 2XKO, and let me just discuss the biggest elephant in the room, which was we got a new fuse to the game, the TeamFight fuse. Yes, 2XKO did it. They added a new fuse to the game, and it sure did make a lot of waves. But let's just talk about the new fuse in general. TeamFight fuse is more of a duo fuse. You and your second champion will both come in on the screen and is able to act and fight for, let's say, 7 to 8 seconds, which can be varied based on if you're getting hit or not. It will take 1 bar of meter from both champions. This fuse, I say it's duo focused, is because if you have 2 characters on your team on the screen at the same time, it is way more easier to control both of them if you're not controlling both of them. If you only have control of one and your friend on your team has control of the other. You can still use this fuse as a solo person, but the potential is just sky high when you are having 2 people who are just coordinating with each other. And we saw this play out in front of our very eyes because everyone got in on the action. Everyone started teaming up just to test out the new fuse, and it was kind of deemed that it was a little much. TeamFight enabled 2 people on the screen to just lock down their opponents completely. Not only that, people soon found out chip sequences with the TeamFight fuse, as well as preventing your opponent from even trying to burst. Since if any of the 2 people that's on the screen blocks the burst, it counts as that whole burst being negated. So this pretty much resulted in TeamFight being able to just dish out such overwhelming aggression and pressure that it was deemed extremely strong. So strong, in fact, that the 2XKO team had stepped in and they pushed out a really fast update to nerf the fuse. And nerf the fuse they did. TeamFight from its debut went from a must-pick fuse to now arguably a pretty niche and silly fuse. Don't get me wrong, this is still early days. There's still much more to explore and much more to experiment with if you are a duo messing with TeamFight fuse. But honestly, I definitely do agree with the nerfs, mostly because on the very first few days, this fuse was almost in contention to be a must pick in the first few days. And this is before we actually really experimented and fleshed out the potential of the fuse. It was pretty much going to be a must pick if we just kept it the way it was. I do want to applaud 2XKO for adding new fuses because I feel like that's something that the game does need, but it's something that it's going to be really hard for the game to do because you have to think of a different gameplay style completely of how to play the game, without stepping on the toes of other fuses and trying to not outright make a fuse so good that it replaces another fuse. Why would you use this fuse when this fuse does that but better? That kind of stuff. And that's not a small task. On the note of duos, we actually got a new matchmaking mode in 2XKO called Duo Finder, where you can actually just enter matchmaking and find a duo. You won't need to know the person. There's also in-game voice chat now, which is pretty darn fun. So you can just search on 2XKO matchmaking. You can just find a duo and start playing with other people together. And I really like that. not only is it very nice for the social aspect of 2XKO, where you could just jump in and just start finding new people and making new friends if that's what you're into, but it gives you a chance to play the game without actually knowing other people like beforehand. You can just meet new people in this duos way. I think it's pretty darn cool. And I love that they had added it. It's something that I didn't think they would add, but they did. So hats off to them again. Aside from that, that's basically what happened this month, and I don't want to brush it off like it was just a small month. The TeamFight fuse was a big discourse, and I'm glad that it mostly died down now. But I still welcome them to keep trying with new fuses and keep trying to shake up the game. Aside from that, tournaments were great this month with Combo Breaker, Evo Japan, and all the like. Be sure to just search up on YouTube if you want to go see the VODs for those tournaments, because the competitive scene is really pushing this game and it's just entering new levels, and it's actually just, again, pretty awesome to look at in general. As for me, I'm going to continue to wait until I find a secondary so I can actually play the game more often and have more fun. Because on the horizon, we have Senna. Senna is looking pretty darn cool, and she comes out early next month. So I'm excited to see Senna and just see what she has in store, and hopefully she'll have some synergies with Warwick so I can actually, train. Aside from that, I think that'll do it for this video. Thanks once again for tuning in to another progress report. Your review is appreciative and your feedback is welcome. I hope that you stick around for the next one. But until then, make sure you hydrate, pace yourself, and above all else, you have a good one.